A very good evening, everybody. This is Gulf Harbour Radio, ZMH 286, Patricia and David. And it is actually a pretty decent evening here, I would have to say, after a rather blustery day. But I'm sure by looking at the speeds of the boats at sea, nobody is complaining about the wind speed. It has been southwest or west here, but it's actually calmed down quite a bit at the moment, so we'll see what happens with the boats at sea. Anyway, a good day to everybody. I know there has not been very many people leave today, a couple of you, but the rest of you are making good progress by the sound of it. We'll get straight into action now, and I will be calling Scoots, Freya and Cambria. I think those are the ones that we talked to last night, so we'll see where they are. Scoots, Gulf Harbour Radio. Well, really good copy. It's interesting coming from Auckland. We can still probably jump on the roof and talk to you. Go ahead, and how's it going? Over.
Yeah, we've had a lovely day sailing out here. We're at south 3248, east 17617. We've got a speed of 8.5 knots, sailing 0 degrees true north, and a wind of 15 to 20 knots from the southwest. Over.
Yeah, very good copy on Scoots, Daryl and Carol tonight. They are at 3248 south, 17617 east, steering north, 000. Well, we know where you're going. 8.5 knots. It's been pretty steady all day, good speed. 15 to 20 from the southwest. Yeah, well, it has actually dropped down a little bit here. We'll see what David has got shortly for an outlook for tomorrow. But, yep, sounds like all is well aboard Scoots. Daryl, over.
Yep, no, we had a lovely day. Bit of a boisterous, bumpy night last night. We had a bit of a rainfall, sort of a squint of about 38 knots at one stage, so that got us interested. But, yeah, all good, over.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it looks like on and off there is going to be that little bit of rain. We certainly had some here, not in the daytime, but last night and early this morning. So, yeah, just spots looking at the satellite picture, bits of spotty cloud pretty much all over the place with dry in between. All right, well, it sounds good and certainly making good progress. So have a good night. Hope it's not as exciting as last night, but good speed, and I'm sure you're ready for it. So have a good night, and we will leave you in peace and go on to Freya, Gulf Harbour.
Gulf Harbour, this is Freya. How copy?
Oh, very good copy. Thanks, Todd. Go ahead.
We are headed towards Fiji with a potential stop at one of the Minervas in case that's strategic. Our current position, 3230 south, 17535 east. Our course over the ground is 20 true. We have a boat speed of 6.2 knots. True in direction now, 240 true. And true wind speed 17. Wave approximately 1 meter, 240 degrees true. And 585 miles west to South Minerva. Over.
Going to South Minerva. Well, I have not been to South Minerva. It's always seemed to be in darkness when we went past there, so ended up at North. So Freya on their way to North Minerva and then Fiji. South Minerva and Fiji. Boy, I'm getting my latitude. I'm reading a really nice, interesting book about, it's set in the 1770s actually. You guys would be interested. It's based on a British Navy, and of course they're in America at the moment with a little bit of disturbance there from the locals. 3230 south, 17535 east on a course of 020 true, 6.2, and the wind from 240 true at 17. That's about exactly what you had last night, so it's been pretty steady for you. A metre swell from the 240 direction, and you've got 585 miles to South Minerva. So I presume you had a little bit of rain last night as well, over?
Little rain, little lumpy. Today's been a beautiful day, however. Very nice sailing. Over.
That was your front.
Oh, that was the front, says David. Yes, a nice day today. Anything else to add from you? Nothing much more? I'll pass the microphone.
Yep, that was the front that we talked about yesterday, and it is gone. So that was just one little blip in the trip north, but the rest of it should be pretty decent. I think tomorrow the wind's going to be a little bit more southerly, but the next day it's going to actually back a bit to the southeast, about 12, 13, up to 15 knots. So almost beautiful conditions on Saturday. Friday, about 15, more or less the same wind speed that you've had today, but a little more south in it. Little blip in the direction, but then it's going to come right again as far as the trades are concerned, like I said, on Saturday. So it's looking very good. And Sunday, a little bit more easterly in it, maybe southeast to east, and that'll be about 15 knots. So as you head towards Minerva, as the days roll on, it's going to pick up just a little bit, but it's still going to be in a fantastic direction. Now, there is on Monday up around, let's see, hang on. Yeah, just north of 30, say about 29 degrees south, and about maybe we'll call it about 177 east, not quite the date line. There is a polar dip in the isobars. You basically have got two highs that are coming together at that time. That's Monday morning. And as it does that, it's going to try to become cyclonic, almost trying to become a subtropical low. Not much in it other than there will be a bit of precipitation and whatnot because of that. Winds, though, as you more or less are heading toward Minerva, will be at that point for you probably east and maybe a little bit east-northeast in it, just because of that event where you've got two highs that are coming together. And I'm not sure what your ETA is for Minerva, but that little blip turns into a depression, actually, a subtropical depression on Tuesday. However, it's going to be centered probably about 31 and 178 west. So it's on the other side of the date line, and you probably are going to be to the west of that when that happens. And so the winds are going to go southerly again and maybe south-southwest by Tuesday. Do you have an ETA for Minerva? Over?
No, I don't have that ready right now. Over.
Okay. If you want to come up with that tomorrow, we'll see what things will be looking like at your arrival date and go from there. Over.
That sounds great. We will have an ETA tomorrow for that. Thank you.
All right, and those comments on the passage, of course, apply to pretty much everyone that is going north. I see Camelot is on their way too. But next on our list is Cambria. Cambria, over.
Oh, Harbour, this is Cambria. How copy?
Oh, good copy. Wasn't it a bit scratchy? I commented last night, but very good copy tonight. Over.
Excellent. So we've had a good day. We're just right in behind Freya. We've been watching them on the AIS all day. We are at 3234 south, 17531 east. Speed over ground, it's dropped off a little bit. We're probably in the 6 to 6.5 range. Our course over ground is 15 true. The winds are in the high teens. They
Oh, good copy. Yes, I chuckled with you and Freya sticking together there. 3234 south, 17531 east on a course of 015 true at 6.5 with the wind in that high teens, 18 to 20 from the west, 1.5 metre swell and 1015. Sounds like all's well on board. Actually, it's quite fun to have someone near you because it keeps you on your toes. I know that we get a bit sloppy with sail trim, but if there's somebody around, then we are a little bit more on the ball. I bet it's the same with you guys. Over.
Oh yeah, we're trying to catch them. But right now, it looks like they're about 6 miles away, and they've been maintaining that all through the day.
Yeah, roger that. All right, well, we'll see where you all are tomorrow. Have a good night, both of you. Hi to Charlene. All right, is there anybody else that can copy me? I will call in Ocean Fever at the moment from Fiji to see if there's anybody in my skip, but is there anybody else wanting to join us tonight? Over.
Selena.
Hello, you guys. I thought you're screaming away so fast, but really nice to hear you, Benno, and hello to Marlene. You are looking as if you're heading to Tonga, I presume. Over.
Yeah, good evening, Patricia and David. This is Sailing Vessel Selena. Yes, no, we like to go to Minerva South. Yeah, and then later on we like to continue to Tonga. Over.
Oh, roger that. Well, you'll be able to prepare the way for Freya. You'll certainly have it to yourself for a bit, though. You're going at great speed. Gosh, what lovely conditions for the passage this year. Go ahead, Benno. Over.
Yes, my position is 3221 south, 17711 east. I'm on a course of 20 true. The speed is 8 to 9 knots. The wind is southwest 18 knots. The swell is less than 2 meters. And cloud cover is about 30%. And 1015 on the bar. Over.
Yeah, our Belina is a catamaran heading to South Minerva, 3221 south, 17711 east on a course of 020 true at 8 to 9 knots. Southwest 18, but nice and steady everywhere, isn't it? Less than 2 metre swell, 1015 and 30%. So, yep, good going. And, you'll certainly be really enjoying being back in the ocean again, I presume. Over.
Yes, Roger. It's really nice sailing and, very good conditions today. Yeah, yesterday it was a little bit rough. We left Okua just after noon, and there were some swell from the east against the waves from the west, so it was a little bit rough, but it was a nice fast trip through the night. Over.
Yeah, certainly you were going good speed. So yeah, and I think the first night out you always notice it more than other times. David's just looking at the water. Did you want to make any comment on the swell? I'll pass the microphone. He hasn't got much to do at the moment.
Yeah, everything is so lovely out there, and greetings to you. It's been it hasn't been that long since we've seen you. Anyhow, yeah, a little bit less wind tomorrow for you, a little bit less, I think. And as I mentioned to the other boats, a little bit change of direction more out of the south tomorrow, maybe about 10 knots. And waves, well, we're still looking at 1.5 to 2 meters, but they're out of the south pretty much tomorrow, up about where you are, 30, 31. By tomorrow you'll be 30, 31, like that, I'm sure. So, pretty good conditions still. A chance of the odd shower. That little front that went through last night, I should say, was moving pretty quickly, and it's gone. So I think conditions will be relatively benign tomorrow. So enjoy. Over.
Yeah, thank you very much, David. So hope to hear you tomorrow again, and have a nice evening.
well, it is actually a better part of the day at the moment, so that's good. All right, and for those that have been around a few years and remember the boat, the catamaran called Somerset, the family have been cruising, and they went up through Australia and then up through the various islands in Asia, and now they're in Japan. So they are on streaming at the moment. So a very good afternoon to Paul and the crew. Paul's had some interesting off Somerset experiences as well. So and they've certainly had a good look at everything in between on land. Okay, I'm just going to, before I pass it up to Ocean Fever, I want to see if Genesis can copy. No, he was trying to get through last night, but of course there is a bit of a gap depending on propagation. It is quite a short distance, and sometimes the boats don't hear us from on the radio. They have to listen on the streaming. So Ocean Fever, are you on frequency Barney? Over. No, nothing heard from Ocean Fever. Is there anybody else wanting to join us? Please call now. Oh, there's somebody there, but it's very light copy. Very, very light. Could you come again? Renard. Oh, well, welcome back to the net, and we'll be interested to see where you are going. But your signal is very light. Whereabouts are you? Over.
We left yesterday. We're on our way to Fiji. We will stop at Minerva, likely. Weather bird. How copy?
Yep, you left yesterday. Another one left yesterday. I didn't actually see you on the AIS. I have to have another good look. And you're going to head to Fiji via Minerva. Go ahead with your current position and conditions. Over.
Our current position is 33 degrees 05 south, 175 degrees 14 east. Our speed over ground is 5.5, 6 knots. It dropped a bit. We're on a course 18 through. Wind is from southwest. 20 knots, 2 meters, 40 kilometers, and alternate course.
Okay, yeah, I'll pick you up better tomorrow. You're still in a bit of a difficult zone. 3 degrees 05 south, 175 14 east on a course of 010 true, 5.5 to 6 knots with the southwest at 20 and a 2 meter swell. Have you got 2 on board? Over.
We are 4 on board.
Oh, 4 on board. That makes life a lot more comfortable, doesn't it, for watchmaking? All right, and that you came through really, really well then. Okay. Oh, well, looks like Minerva's going to get, well, it's always good to be there early, depending on the tides, to have your pick of the crayfish. Okay. You going, well, depends on when you get there, I suppose, whether it's south or north. Have you got a destination in mind? Over.
Likely North Minerva.
Okay, we'll see how that goes. Okay, clear with you. Have a good night, everybody on board Renard. Is there anybody else for Gulf Harbour Radio? No, nothing heard. And Genesis, if you are there and maybe listening on streaming, just anybody can just tune in and give us a call. But sometimes it is a little difficult from the Bay of Islands. I'll just see if David's got any more comments from last night. It looks just wonderful passage conditions in terms of stability. No headwinds to look at, apart from the odd little bit of instability that you'll get along the way. But I'll just pass the microphone in case he wants to say something.
No, it's pretty much what I've said applies to you. The other boat's a little bit further to the north, and you're just on your way, just leaving New Zealand. So for you tomorrow, the winds are going to remain out of the southwest. It's not until you get a little bit further north that they start to back a little bit. But anyway, that's a great direction. Anyhow, so yeah, I can't see any problems at all. Seas will be about 2 meters, just like what you've got today. And can't think of anything else. Take a look at what the precipitation might be. And from what I can see, hardly anything. You might get the odd squall this evening. And actually throughout the Southwest Pacific on this passage, as I mentioned yesterday to most of the boats, that the weather is being dominated by this enormous high pressure area. And I'm sure that all of you have seen this, that are looking at your grids. What I'm saying is not going to be news to you, but it's really remarkable how big this high pressure area is. I mean, really big. It's centered just to the southwest of Tasmania, but it extends, it's ridging all the way out to the dateline, and it's going to remain in that area for nearly a week. It's going to do a little bit of budding, in other words, every now and again, just to the east of New Zealand, a little piece of it, for lack of being too technical, sort of breaks off and turns into another small high that continues on to the east. But the main high near Tasmania just stays there, and that's what is going to give you such a very good passage as you head up to the islands, particularly those that are going to New Caledonia and Vanuatu. Hardly any hiccups at all. Within that high, though, you could expect little periods of showers, and that's quite common, and the reason mainly for that is the wind direction is coming more or less out of the south southerly quadrant, and it's hitting those warm seas, and when it does that, then we have showers. It's just typical when conditions are like that. So that's about it. There is a little low that's going to form to the east of the east side of this ridge, and that's because it's going to be the airflow is going to be bumping into a high that's just to the east of the last part of that ridge, if you will. So we have winds coming in almost opposite directions, and they're going to spin up a very small depression that's going to wind up being east of the date line and traveling to the southeast, more or less to the southeast. And it should not be an issue for the boats that are heading up to Fiji, Minerva, Vanuatu, etc., etc. So we'll have to see what develops with that particular event, but from what I can see now, it's not much of a worry. So enjoy the weather. Wish we were with you. Yeah, that's about it for me.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be others on their way. Quite a few have indicated they're leaving, well, of course the rally leaves Monday, and then some of you will be leaving over the weekend, and I've just got my brain in action, and Renard 4 has got 2+2, so hello to all of you. Thanks, Simon. Is there anybody else for Gulf Harbour Radio? No, that's it from here, and our skies have cleared now too, so it's going to be a lovely evening. We'll be back again tomorrow, same time, same place, and hopefully you have a good night sailing with those 20 knot winds. Excellent. Cheers all, Gulf Harbour Radio is clear.